Abba worldwide breaking news front. Current events. Breaking news and recent events from around the world. Politics. Coverage of government activities, elections, and political developments. Economics. Updates on financial markets, business news, and economic trends. International affairs. News related to foreign countries, diplomacy, and global conflicts. Health. Health-related news, medical breakthroughs, and public health issues. Science and technology. Updates on scientific discoveries, innovations, and technological advancements. Environment. Coverage of environmental issues, climate change, and conservation. Entertainment. Entertainment news, including movies, music, and celebrity updates. Sports. Sports events, scores, and highlights from various sports. Weather. Weather forecasts and natural disasters. Crime and justice. Reporting on criminal cases, legal matters, and law enforcement. Human interest. Heartwarming or inspiring stories from the community. Opinion and analysis. Commentary and analysis of current events. Human rights. News related to social justice, civil rights, and humanitarian issues. These are some common topics, but news channels can cover a wide range of subjects to provide viewer with a comprehensive understanding of current events and developments in the world. Education. Updates on the education system, schools, and academic issues. Travel and tourism. Information on travel destinations, tourism trends, and travel advisories. Technology trends. Insights into emerging technologies, gadgets, and tech industry news. Automotive. News about the automotive industry, including new vehicle releases and transportation developments. Space and astronomy. Updates on space exploration, astronomy, and celestial events. Consumer affairs. Information on consumer products, recalls, and consumer rights. These topics add to the diversity of news coverage provided by news channels. Religion. News related to religious events, interfaith dialogue, and religious freedom. Social issues. Coverage of social and cultural issues, including diversity, equality, and societal debates. Travel restrictions. Information on travel restrictions, visa policies, and international travel updates. Food and dining. Culinary news, restaurant reviews, and food trends. Books and literature. Updates on the literary world, new book releases, and author interviews. Fashion and style. Fashion trends, runway shows, and style advice. Art and culture. Coverage of art exhibitions, cultural events, and the art world. Infrastructure and development. News about infrastructure projects, urban development, and construction. Philanthropy. Stories about charitable organizations, donations, and humanitarian efforts. Emerging trends. Reports on emerging trends in various industries and sectors. These additional topics highlight the broad spectrum of information and stories that news channels aim to provide to their audiences. Wildlife and conservation. News about wildlife preservation, endangered species, and conservation efforts. Legal developments. Updates on legal cases, court decisions, and changes in legislation. Consumer technology. Information on consumer electronics, gadgets, and tech product reviews. Agriculture and farming. Coverage of agricultural practices, crop yields, and farming-related news. Labor and employment. News related to jobs, labor markets, and employment trends. Public safety. Reports on emergency services, disaster response, and public safety issues. Cultural festivals. Information on cultural festivals, celebrations, and events. Aviation. News about the aviation industry, airlines, and air travel. Community events. Updates on local events, fairs, and community gatherings. Business profiles. Features on successful businesses, entrepreneurs, and industry leaders. These topics further illustrate the variety of subjects that news channels cover to keep their audiences informed. Social media and internet trends. News about social media platforms, internet culture, and online trends. Infrastructure failures. Reporting on infrastructure failures, such as bridge collapses and utility issues. Energy and sustainability. Updates on energy sources, environmental sustainability, and renewable energy developments. Celebrity scandals. coverage of controversies and scandals involving celebrities and public figures. Education technology, EdTech, news related to educational technology, online learning, and e-learning platforms. Gaming and esports, updates on the video game industry, esports tournaments, and gaming culture. Mental health, reporting on mental health issues, awareness, and access to mental health care. Social justice movements, news about social justice movements, protests, and civil rights advocacy. Consumer reviews, reviews and ratings of products, services, and businesses. Geopolitical conflicts, coverage of international conflicts, diplomacy, and global political issues. These topics continue to showcase the extensive range of subjects that news channels address in their reporting. Historical anniversaries, commemorations and historical retrospectives on significant events. Public health campaigns, information on health initiatives, vaccination drives, and health awareness campaigns. Space exploration, updates on space missions, discoveries, and the exploration of other planets. Music festivals, news about music festivals, concerts, and the music industry. Immigration and border issues, coverage of immigration policies, border security, and migration trends. Science and medical breakthroughs, reports on scientific and medical advancements, including breakthroughs in research. Disaster preparedness, information on disaster preparedness, emergency response, and resilience. Local news, stories and updates specific to a particular region or locality. Social media trends, coverage of viral social media trends, challenges, and online phenomena. Automated and electric vehicles, news related to autonomous vehicles in the electric vehicle industry. These additional topics reflect the evolving nature of news coverage in response to current events and societal interests. Home and real estate, updates on the real estate market, property values, and housing trends. Startups and entrepreneurship, news about startup companies, innovations, and entrepreneurial ventures. Virtual reality, VR, and augmented reality, AR, coverage of VR and AR technologies and applications. Legalization and decriminalization, news about changes in the legal status of substances, like marijuana. Transportation infrastructure, updates on transportation projects, highways, and public transit systems. Crisis response, coverage of humanitarian crises, such as refugee situations and disaster relief efforts. Artificial intelligence, AI, developments in AI technology, machine learning, and AI applications. Cultural heritage and preservation, news about historical preservation efforts, museums, and cultural heritage. Astronomical events, reporting on celestial phenomena, such as eclipses and meteor showers. Tourism recovery, information on the recovery of tourism industries after disruptions like pandemics or natural disasters. These topics highlight the dynamic nature of news coverage and the wide array of subjects that can be of public interest. Cybersecurity, news related to data breaches, cyber attacks, and online security. Alternative energy sources, updates on alternative energy solutions, like wind and solar power. Fashion sustainability, reports on sustainable and eco-friendly fashion initiatives. Global trade and commerce, coverage of international trade agreements, tariffs, and economic alliances. Indigenous issues, news about the rights and issues facing indigenous communities. Archaeological discoveries, updates on archaeological findings in historical excavations. Parenting and family, advice, trends, and issues related to parenting and family life. DIY and home improvement, tips, projects, and trends in home improvement and do-it-yourself activities. Meteorology, in-depth weather analysis, storm tracking, and climate studies. Virtual learning and online education, news on remote learning, digital classrooms, and online education platforms. These topics continue to reflect the diverse range of subjects that news channels cover to keep the public informed. And efforts to combat diseases. Cultural diplomacy, news about cultural exchange programs, art exhibitions, and cultural diplomacy. Hobbies and leisure, features on hobbies, leisure activities, and recreational trends. Space commercialization, developments in space tourism and the commercial space industry. Renewable energy innovations. Advances in renewable energy technologies, like solar and wind. Pet care and animal welfare. Stories related to pet ownership, animal welfare, and conservation. Humanitarian aid. Coverage of humanitarian organizations, relief efforts, and philanthropic initiatives. Sustainable agriculture. News about sustainable farming practices, organic agriculture, and food security. Public opinion and surveys. Reports on public opinion polls and surveys on various issues. Disability rights. News related to the rights and challenges faced by people with disabilities. These topics highlight the ongoing commitment of news channels to providing diverse and informative content. Personal finance. Tips on budgeting, investing, saving, and financial planning. Elderly care and aging population. News on issues related to the elderly and senior citizens. Human space exploration. Updates on manned space missions and plans for human exploration of space. Futuristic technologies. Coverage of cutting-edge technologies like quantum computing and biotechnology. Nature conservation. News about efforts to preserve natural ecosystems and biodiversity. Rural development. Reports on rural infrastructure, agriculture, and economic development. Documentaries and film industry. News about documentary films, the movie industry, and cinematic releases. Automated workforce. Developments in automation, robotics, and their impact on employment. Alternative medicine. News on holistic health practices and alternative medical treatments. Innovation in education. Reports on innovative teaching methods, edtech startups, and educational reform. These topics underscore the breadth and depth of information that news channels aim to provide to their viewer. Cyberbullying and online harassment. News related to online harassment, cyberbullying, and internet safety. Ethical dilemmas. Reports on moral and ethical issues, dilemmas, and discussions. Emergency medicine. Updates on emergency healthcare, paramedics, and disaster response. Urban planning and development. News on city planning, urban design, and urban growth. Criminal justice reform. Coverage of efforts to reform the criminal justice system and reduce mass incarceration. Consumer privacy. News on data privacy, online security, and protecting personal information. Gender and equality issues. Stories about gender equality, LGBTQ+ rights, and related topics. Subcultures and countercultures. Features on various subcultures, countercultural movements, and lifestyle trends. National holidays and celebrations. Information on national holidays, traditions, and celebrations around the world. Internet governance and regulations. News related to internet regulations, net neutrality, and online policies. These topics further demonstrate the wide-ranging subjects that news channels address to keep their audiences informed and engaged. Mental health stigma. Reports on efforts to reduce the stigma surrounding mental health issues and seeking help. Historical revisionism. News about historical reinterpretations and controversies in historical narratives. Agricultural innovations. Updates on technological advancements and sustainable practices in
futuristic
agriculture.
news opener template.
Social entrepreneurship. Features on businesses and organizations focused on social and environmental impact. Indoor and vertical farming. Developments in urban agriculture and sustainable food production. Elderly technology adoption. News on seniors embracing technology for improved quality of life. Pop culture trends. Stories on trends in popular culture, including music, fashion, and entertainment. Traditional and folk art. Coverage of traditional arts, crafts, and cultural heritage. Civil society movements. Reports on grassroots movements and activism around the world. Historical mysteries. Coverage of unsolved historical mysteries and archaeological discoveries. These topics showcase the continued diversity and depth of subjects covered by news channels to inform and engage their audiences. Thank you for watching Abba News Front Worldwide. Subscribe for more information.